But let's see, as far as our project, accessories. So what makes sense for your creature, right? So let's take a look at what you guys have on your projects. So Simon, give me some accessories that you would do on your dude. Like, what kind of accessories would you look at on this? Like, what's in the lore? You think about that. Let's go over to Marcos. Marcos, what are you seeing as far as accessories go? Aside from that little power ball that he has there, what are you thinking? All right, while you're answering that, everybody else, take a look. Take a look at your creatures. I want you all to consider what makes sense for the lore of your creature, for your boss. What makes sense to add in? For me, I'm thinking, I was talking about, sunken ship parts, a Spanish galleon. Sometimes it just helps doing some Google searches on stuff. Like if I come over here and I were to look at Ash's work, right, and I was to look at this right here, and I just search. This is reminding me very much of let's open up larger. If I was to look at this one, I'd say, okay, that kind of reminds me of a cockatrice a little bit. Maybe I could play with that and see what comes up. I don't think that's your final one that you were going to do, though. I think you were going with this gargoyle-looking dude, right? That was the one you're running with? All right, so Marcos, what would make sense for an ancient Hebrew snake? Since yours, that's what yours is, right? What would make sense? How would you tell that story? All right, so for this one, I'm thinking, we've gone out into our subconscious and we've dug around and we've produced what we've produced. Now we have to start storytelling, and we have to start figuring it out and seeing how we're going to tie this together into something that somebody can latch onto and relate to. It's not just some giant nebulous form, but even in visual, there's a story to it, right? And obviously, you're going to want to, in like a boss arena, there's going to be elements in the environment. But I think, if you're looking at, designing the arena, I would design the creature first, then design the arena. So the environment for this gargoyle-looking dude, what's it going to be? Is he? What's your concept for him? What is he? Because Simon depends if he's. So Simon's creature. Let's bounce back over here. Or bounce around a lot right now. Depends on if he's fantasy or sci-fi. I can't decide. It's a weird fantasy creature that lives in a cave that people have shot with arrows, etc. Or if he's an alien creature in more sci-fi. I can't decide. Like cave dwelling, hard to think of hard surface elements unless someone has dressed him up for war themselves. So, if what I'm hearing is, let's see, dressing. I'll try and help you out with the lore a little bit. So, one of the first things I thought of when I saw your creature was and I brought this up a couple times, the arena battle in Star Wars, right? In Episode 3. Is it Episode 3? Episode 3. Right? There was that. Or was that Episode 2? I don't remember. I was also thinking of the Rancor, right? So maybe this thing was enslaved at one point, and it has chains wrapped around it or nailed into it. It has maybe like the equivalent of a slave collar or slave harness. Right, and it's broken free. It's wild now. It's no longer a slave. That's one way of going with it, right? So there's a little bit of leading around for you. All right, Christian, you're thinking of going with a guardian war creature that broke loose. Christian, let me pull yours up. There we go. Have you developed this further? Cool. All right. All right. Ash has a long story to tell. And this is, this is a good conversation that we're having because you guys really need to flesh out the story of your character, right? So let's tell Ash's story. Let's see, here we go. All right, long story. He was once an elven being. This elven race mutates and sells those. They combine themselves with different species. It's like a fifth generation of the experience of combining. So it would make sense for this creature to have armor. Right? And if it's a part of that elven society, right, that means he's going to be able to have manufactured armor for the scale that he's at. Right? So think about that. I would look at, for that sort of thing, maybe look at necromonger armor and pull some ideas from here. Right, something along these lines. Or, of course, you can look at Lord of the Rings elves, right? Pull inspiration from here. Some of the more decorative pieces. Remember that, you don't, I wouldn't go with something as simple as this. As like this shoulder piece. I'd probably go with a more decorative piece. In fact, there's some older French armor, and that's exactly be my search terms, old French armor. And I can't remember which king it was. It was Louis the something. No, seriously, there's the French had some really beautiful decorative armor. And I think this might be a good place for you to start looking for how to decorate any armor pieces for your character. I would look to like 17th century, 16th century, maybe not 16th century, but I mean look at this stuff. I mean it's freaking it's gorgeous. All right, so look to really decorative armor because I mean your guy's huge, right? So the player character is only going to be seeing maybe, I don't know, when they're actually fighting, is only going to see maybe, I don't know, 30%, 20% of your creature, right? So you want to make sure that there's interesting moments all the way around. So I wouldn't do anything plain or smooth, right? Unless you need to buy a new no break for your PC or do not mess with Jewish lore. I don't get it, Marcos. So anyways, I would look to this stuff. And then let's say back over to Christian. And I'm totally bouncing around now, so bear with me. I just put in Christian because I said Christian. I meant to put in Guardian. I hate it when that happens. So let's go Guardian. What would make sense? Let's go Guard Beast and just see what comes up. That's not what I'm looking for. This is actually kind of a cool concept, though, although I don't know if I would pull from that. So if it's a Guardian, I would say, what is it a guardian of? Was it a guardian of a temple? Blizzard-like armor with runes or glyphs in it, because he was a high guardian made in purple and gold. Okay, that's cool. You could also look at, I don't know, a lot of the Blizzard stuff reminds me of And I don't mean real Aztec armor, but stuff that's been inspired by Aztec designs. And I guess we could just look at Aztec designs, really. Nope. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So you could look at deco stuff like this for accessories for your character. I think that would fit very much in the Blizzard realm of things. You know, I think of the the trolls, and I guess if you're going to look at, if you're going to go specifically, like say, I want this to look like a Blizzard piece, I would think about those realms in World of Warcraft, right? If that's what you're going after, unless you're going after maybe StarCraft, but then look at that and do your research and figure out where he would fit and what makes sense as far as the stylistic treatment of his accessories. Then I would go, well, what can you do as an artist to make it uniquely yours, right? So you're taking the concept of what Blizzard has done, but then you're spinning it into something that's uniquely yours. And what is that? And that's a question that you have to answer for yourself. Oh, your PC shut down. Oh my God, sorry. All right, Marcos. So you're explaining your boss is based on a creature called the Nahash from Jewish mythology. It's a serpent that caused the fall of men, and I was thinking that the orb is from the tree of life. That's pretty damn cool, man. So you got a lot of stuff that you could go through with your dragon here. First of all, let me Google Nahash, because I have never heard of that. Nahash? Okay, that's just dope. I think, I'm looking at like just graphical patterns. When I see stuff like this, like from Kabbalah and all that stuff, I think that you're going to find Google image brings some mental disturbing stuff. When I searched Nakash, I didn't think I was going to find anything, although this looks a little disturbing, and that's a little bit racy. But I think there's some cool stuff. Let's go to Wikipedia. Let's see.